everybody. Welcome to my channel and thank you for taking the time to show me some love for this video. I need you to stay tuned because you just don't know what I'm ever going to say, and you never know what you're going to see in one of these videos. So if you don't mind, take a moment and subscribe. It's just a click of your mouse or the click of your phone. So if you've been here with me for a while, you know I was on vacation last week. I'll be having a weekly update about it on Monday. I had a statement said to me and I was shocked and didn't know what to say at the moment. And I am hardly ever speechless. I've always got something to say. But I was. And I wouldn't have just made a video from one statement. I, while on vacation, had briefly, looked through my Facebook groups, and I had seen it the day before this person said this to me. And then 2 days after that, well, the day after and the next day, I actually seen something very similar to what was said to me. So, the statement question was, I lost 25 pounds and I've stalled. I think it's because I'm not eating enough carbs from my body or body type. I was shocked. Anybody who's been doing keto for a hot minute knows the answer to this question. But I'm going to give you some information on this. So because I'm going to give you some information on this, I've got to put this warning out here. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nutritionalist. And I'm not a health coach yet. The information I'm giving to you is based off of my 3-year journey, the research that I've been doing for the last 3 years, and helping other people on their keto journeys. So let's dive into this. Let's answer this question and give out some information that may help you if you've thought about this too. So back to this question. Is it possible to have too little carbs in your body and that's why it's stalling your weight loss? The simple answer to that is no. That is not possible. That is the whole purpose of going into ketosis and the way that you get into ketosis. So let's go back to the basics. Our body runs on two fuels. The first one being sugar, which we're all aware of. We also know that it's not the most efficient fuel because you're having to refuel your body every 2, 3, 4 hours to avoid symptoms such as sugar lows, hunger, cravings, and your sugars is not stabilized. It's always going up and down. The other fuel that our bodies run on very efficiently is fat fuel. So in order to do that, you must eliminate or lower your carbs down to a point that your body, your liver will start producing ketones and get you into a state of ketosis. It happens relatively quickly, but the magic all happens after you're fat adapted. So sometimes I think, we're raised up with this nutritional information that is not always, it's proven to be outdated at this point. And sometimes we have to unlearn things that we grew up with to be efficient at the new things that we're trying to achieve. So out of the two fuel sources, we already know that we want to use ketones as our fuel source. It is the more efficient fuel source for us. So to do that, we can start producing ketones pretty quickly just by eliminating carbs. But the sweet spot is when we get fat adapted because we are very efficient at using ketones as our preferred source. Now, there's a process to this, and that's called nutritional ketosis. And in order to get into nutritional ketosis, you must eliminate the carbs from your diet to efficiently produce ketones from your liver, Once you do this and you get metabolically stable, it stabilizes your blood sugars and the rise in your insulin. So that's what we want to do. But there's things in our life and health conditions that can slow this process down. So that's what we're going to talk about next. What kind of things can affect reaching fat adaptation and getting into nutritional ketosis so that we can be fat adapted. At this point, you're probably questioning the process, right? You're stalled. You don't know what's going on. You may be questioning if you're doing it right. Are you eating the right foods? Maybe you may even think the same thing that was stated to me. Maybe your body requires more carbs. You may even give up at this point and just think that the keto diet isn't for you. Even though stalling like this, even in the very beginning, is very common. So let's get into some things that probably is causing that initial stall and break those down for you. So I've come up with 9 things that could be stalling your weight loss. The first 5 is going to deal with food. The last 4 is everything metabolic in your body. It is where your body has been damaged from a sugar-filled diet, and the body is actually having to take time to repair before it feels comfortable enough to start releasing some of the weight. And I'm going to break those down. So number 1 is going to be, there is no keto foods. Nope. Marketing is a wonderful thing. They market keto foods and they may or may not work for you. We like to keep it simple. Pick a meat, pick a fat, pick a vegetable or 2. That's keto. What works for you may not work for other people and vice versa. Number 2 is you may be eating more carbs than what you're aware of. And it's too many carbs and your body says, mm-mm. Or keto is a low carb, high fat. You actually might be eating too much fat. So your macros may need to be adjusted because your body will use your dietary fat before it'll start using your fat on your body for fuel. Number 3 is you're not tracking your macros. I'll be the first to admit, tracking your macros in the beginning can be overwhelming because you're learning something new. At the very least, you do need to be tracking your carbs, whether they be net carbs or total carbs. And I'm going to go right into number 4. Some people cannot do net carbs. They have to track total carbs because maybe they yo-yo dieted or they just have damage that they need the total carbs. It has to be so low in order for the body to release some weight. And number 5 is how many times we eat a day. Yeah, I said it. Snacking is counterproductive when you're on keto, especially when you're trying to stabilize those blood sugars, which is what we are trying to do on keto. So every time you eat, you raise the blood sugars and then they come down, and you raise them and then they come down. And every time you eat, you stop the possibility of fat burning. So we really want to eliminate those snacks and desserts. It's okay to add something that maybe you would normally snack on or had a dessert with your meal. And we really want to start out at 3 meals. Unless you already don't eat breakfast, then it's okay to start with 2 meals. And we just want to make sure that those meals are big enough and definitely have enough fat that sustains you to the next meal. If you are sustained to the next meal, you do not need to eat more fat. If you're not sustained to the next meal, that means you need to raise up your fat just a little bit. So let your hunger be your indication on what you need for fat. So that's the first 5. They deal with food. The next 4 is, like I said, all metabolic. So let's jump into those. Number 6 is you're either diabetic, insulin resistant, or you do not know that you're insulin resistant. When you have these things going on, your body is very efficient at storing sugar in your organs and your muscles. And we already talked about nutritional ketosis. We have to have the absence of carbs and sugars in our blood in order to produce ketones. And if we want to get fat adapted, our body has to learn to use those ketones efficiently. Well, here's the thing. When you have diabetes or insulin resistance, whether you've been diagnosed or not, so whether you know or unaware, you have to release those sugar stores in your organs and your muscles. And sometimes it takes walking daily or even starting fasting to release those sugar stores in your muscles. So you may not see results until you add some of those factors into your ketogenic diet. Number 7, maybe you've been a yo-yo dieter over the years. You've tried every diet that's come out. Well, every time we lose weight and gain weight, we change our metabolism. And our metabolism has everything to do with our ability to lose weight. And with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and jump into number 8, because it is everything about your metabolism, and that is your thyroid. So whether you have Hashimoto's, hyper or hypothyroidism, is going to affect your metabolism. It is going to slow it down. People who have thyroid issues tend to lose much, much slower than people who do not. It is very unfair. Especially when you see everybody around you just dropping the weight. This is where it's important to say that we should not compare our journeys to others, because they are not on the same journey that we are. So if you have thyroid issues, you may have to try much harder, or you just might lose slower. Number 9 is going to be metabolic syndrome, which is kind of a mix of thyroid metabolism and insulin resistance. It's just where your body has got so much damage that it just holds on to everything. It's really stressful by new diets, and it does take some repair time. And I know I keep saying repair time, but there has been people who have jumped on keto, reduced that inflammation, and it took 3 months for them to lose weight. Or the scale didn't move, but their measurements, they were losing inches off in their body. And this is probably just the unfair part of weight loss, is that by being on a sugar diet that causes a lot of inflammation, we do a lot of damage to our body. And just sometimes it's got to take a time out and just repair. So these reasons could be a big reason why the weight isn't coming down. It has nothing to do with the fact that you're not eating enough carbs for your body type. We want to eliminate those carbs to even get into ketosis. Carbs are not an essential macro. You do not need them to live life. You do need fat and protein and other minerals and vitamins. And that's why I'm making the video. I just want you aware that there is several things that just can affect your ability to lose weight. And knowing is power. All right, so if you're still with me, I hope you have learned that there is no such thing as not having enough carbs. That keto is actually all about limiting your carbs down to a certain number to get into a state of ketosis so that we can burn our body fat. If the carbs are not low enough, our body will not grab the fat off in our body and convert through our liver into ketones. So keto is all about not having a lot of carbs. And some metabolic conditions may even require you to limit your carbs under 20. Some people may even need 10 total carbs in order to lose weight. I hope you enjoyed knowing that it could be food or drink that's stalling you, or maybe one of those health conditions that I mentioned is what you have, and now you start to understand that's probably what slowed you up and what needs to happen to get things moving in the right direction. So, Have you ever had a stall, especially in the beginning of your keto journey? If you have, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you did to get past that stall, or are you still stalled and are you needing some ideas and suggestions? Because if you do, I don't mind taking a minute and giving you some ideas so that you can try them. And of course, if you made it this far, please like and subscribe, because you just never know what I'm going to bring you next. And let's not forget, your journey begins with you. If you don't take that first step, you'll never start your journey. Don't overcomplicate keto. Pick a meat, pick a fat, pick a vegetable or two, and just get started. You can always alter or critique the way you do keto to a way that works for you. Bye, everybody.